going to be my TBR for the Jantes Inferno readathon hosted by Jan of Jan Agton. This is going to be held from the 6th to the 16th of February. 666. And the prompts for this are based on the Circles of Hell, which I just think is the coolest thing ever. If you want to know more details about the actual details of the Circles of Hell, you can go watch Jan's actual videos explaining the prompts, but this is just going to be my TBR and saying the basic which Circle of Hell it is. So the idea is that each prompt is a Circle of Hell, and with each book you are trying to get to the next circle and you are trying to get out of hell. As someone who is a mood reader who sucks at TBRs anyway, this is going to be quite difficult for me because I'm going to try and do the order of the Circles of Hell to mimic me actually moving my way out of hell. I am going to make an exception for, I've got a mixture of physical and Kindle reads, so I am going to have a physical and a Kindle read on the go at the same time because I do majority of my reading commuting to and from work, and it makes no sense to not make progress while I'm commuting to work. So the 9th Circle of Hell is Treachery, and the prompt for this is to read a book based in winter or with snow on the cover. And I'm going to be reading a book on my Kindle for that one, and that is Dead of Winter by Darcy Coates. I haven't read anything by Darcy Coates, but I've heard very good things, so I'm excited to start reading some of her collection for this readathon. And I just think it'll be I have a feeling I'll like it, so I think it's a good one to start off the readathon with. The next prompt, or the next Circle of Hell, is Fraud, and the prompt for this is read either a horror or a thriller. So I've gone with Survivor by J.F. Gonzalez. I've heard so much about this book. I still don't really know what it's about, but it's been so hyped. And I've only just been able to get a physical copy because they didn't sell it for ages. It is a fairly chunky one, but I'm hoping I will fly through it. And I think it just feels right for the horror thriller prompt because it seems so iconic. The 7th Circle of Hell is Violence, and the prompt for this is to read either a vampire book or a book with blood on the cover. Now this is such a good prompt for me because I love vampire books. However, because I love vampire books, I have read all the vampire books I own. And my goal for this readathon was to try and knock off some of my physical TBR. But for this one, I've had to go for, I've picked another one from my Kindle. And what I did for this one is I just typed into Goodreads recommendations for vampire books. And the one that came up was Kingdom of Blood and Salt. So it looks good. So I'm hoping, because it's a vampire book, it should be quite quick to get through. The 6th Circle of Hell is Heresy, and the prompt for this is to read a hot pick. So you read either a new release or a hyped book. And for this, I'm going to be reading Six of Crows. Yes, I haven't read this yet. I tried to read it a few years ago and I just couldn't get into it, but I don't know if it's just because I wasn't concentrating on it properly. I just wasn't giving it a chance. So I need to actually give this a go and try and read it to see if I'm just a girly who doesn't get the hype or if I was being unfair a few years ago. The 6th Circle of Hell is Anger, and for this prompt you've got to read a book with a battle or a war, or you could do enemies to lovers, but it's got to be knife to throat enemies to lovers. For this one I've gone for quite a hyped book on my physical TBR, and that's The Hurricane Wars. I know nothing about this book, so if there isn't a war in it, false advertising. Okay? It says war, it counts. The 4th Circle of Hell is Greed, and the prompt for this is to read a book you paid full price for. I don't know if this counts because I got this in a subscription box, but I paid full price for the subscription box, so I'm counting it. And that is Last to Leave the Room. I've been kind of putting this off because I haven't been hearing good things about it. I don't know really what it's about, but I haven't heard that people have been enjoying this one. I've heard it's quite disappointing, and I don't want it to be because this edition's stunning and I don't want to get rid of it. So, but I'm gonna bite the bullet. The third circle of hell is gluttony. For this, you've got to read a book with food involved. And for that, I'll be reading Fake Dates and Mooncakes. This is an MM romance. It's set in like a cute little cafe, I believe. So I've been meaning to get to this one for quite a while, and I think it'll be quite a cute read to break up a lot of the, I think, deep horror stuff. Not that I'm bothered about that, but you know. And it's also nice and short because I like the Hurricane Wars is quite a chunky one, and so Survivor. So I need some smaller picks on my TBR. The second circle of hell is lust. And for this prompt, you've got to read a book with any semblance of romance. So it's left quite open and up to you. For this one, I've decided to go for Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This is another one that I'll be reading on my Kindle. Once again, I don't know anything really about it. I just know that it has been really hyped everywhere. So I think it'll be a nice quick read, and it'll be also, I can be in on the know then of what everyone's talking about. And finally, the first circle of hell is limbo. And this is basically just, you're stuck in limbo. You need to get out of hell. For this one, Jan says you can read any book, just read one more book. And for that one, I've gone for Lost in the Moment of Found by Shauna Maguire. A, to continue on with this series, because I've been meaning to get to it for ages. And B, because it's another nice short one just to round off the TBR if I do get to all of these in the allocated time. Let me know if you're participating in the readathon and what books you've picked. Bye.